Welcome to my AEW All In Prediction video. As of this recording, the only 8 matches announced. I know there's going to be at least one more match announced on Collision on Thursday, which is supposed to be involving a multi-man or multi-person match. I should say, it could be man and woman. I'm sure there'll be a match or two more announced on Dynamite as well. So this may not come out before either show airs. I mean, let me rephrase that. This may or may not be airing, uploaded before they come out. So this may be on like after at least one of them, possibly. So that's why if you're seeing this after the announcement, that's why. So I'll go through the 8 matches that have been announced through July 8th. This is when I'm recording it. So we got the singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship between defending champ Toni Storm, and Mercedes Moné. So I'm gonna go with Mercedes winning this match. So unlike the matches coming up on this and when it takes all match, this just like I said, this for the women's world championship. It's not for the TNT title. So that might be a possibility where she's Moné at some point might wrestle twice in one night, kind of like I think MJF did a couple years ago when he and then go with the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champs, and he was the AEW World Heavyweight Champion too. So there's always that possibility, but I do think Moné will pull out the victory on this. Now, there's going to be a Texas Death match for the AEW World Championship between defending champ John Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. I think Moxley's going to retain here. I'll actually Page win, but I think Moxley's going to hold on to it a little bit longer. Storyline purposes, I know a lot of people don't really like the Death Rider stuff, but I think you're going to see Darby Allin going to take it off of him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up later at some point on this card. I'm not sure if it's going to be here or in the Casino Gauntlet match. You got a winner takes all match to unify the AEW Continental Championship and the AEW International Championship into the inaugural AEW Unified Championship between the Continental Champion Katika Okada and the International Champion Kenny Omega. According to Tony Khan, they're still going to, even though this is unifying both titles, he claims they're still going to be separate. So you can't, I have no idea what he means by that. He doesn't know what he means by that. But you can't say this is unifying the titles, but they're separate. He did say they're still going to have the Continental Classic, but he knows, because I remember when they did the initial Continental Classic, 3 years ago? Almost 3. Yeah, it was 2022, I believe it was. There was no one. It was 2023. Okay, it was 2022. And, no, it was 2023. My bad, yeah, it was 2023, 2 years ago. It was Continental Championship, Ring of Honor Championship, and I forgot which title from New Japan, but one of New Japan's titles too. And that didn't last that long either. So I'm not sure if he's going to stick to having them unified or going to do what or be more like when Roman Reigns defeated Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 38, or at 38 when he in the comments of both of them, and it wasn't actually unified until after, I think it was either before he lost to Cody or after Cody won the belts. I think it was after Cody won the belts when they just unified them. But I'm gonna go with Omega winning this, especially just simply because of listening to what Don Callis has been saying and about Omega, instead of making me think that Omega's going to win this match. Instead, yeah, so I'm going to go with that. So they got the men's gauntlet match and the women's gauntlet matches. So for the men, the only three people that have been announced for the men's have been Mark Briscoe, MJF, and Mystico. And the only woman so far is Chris Statlander. Briscoe and MJF are going to be the first two people entrance, and Chris Statlander has secured the first entrance. Basically, with these two matches is that I think the winners get future world championships for the next, so it'll be AEW championship and the women's the AEW women's championship. So depending on men and women, obviously, but I think that I'm not sure how many people. I think there's 21 people total, but the match it's also a gauntlet match. So it's not a battle royal. So meaning when the first person that scores, I guess, a pinfall or submission wins the match, and it'll be over. So if 4 people only end up getting the match is over. And I think Daniel Garcia got a shot because he was going to be like number 21. It's supposed to be, I think it ended with the last person, with one more person remaining. I think it was Daniel Garcia, I believe it was. And he ended up getting a title shot anyways too, because he didn't get a chance to actually be in the match. So I mean, that could happen. But I think with both matches, unless because they haven't announced every single participant, so we're not going to know if someone was actually left off of the card or not, which is a good thing, because you won't hear complaining why someone was on ended up not being on the show. And I think for the men, I think this is going to be Darby Allin's comeback, and he's going to win the match. And hence the reason why I think I think Joe's my thinking to John Moxley winning and retaining the AEW championship. So I'm going to. So that's going to be my guess. Especially, I can't make a big guess since I don't know who all the participants is. For the women, especially with me thinking that Mercedes Moné is going to win. I'm going to go with Willow Nightingale to win this, because they have a little bit of a history. They faced each other for a Women's Championship for New Japan a couple of years ago. So I'm sure Tony Khan will want to. Yeah, because this one thing I've noticed he likes doing is, if they have a history somewhere else, he will bring them, especially with New Japan. Especially with the Okada Omega match. I think this is going to be like the 5th or 6th match together. And I think they may have fought once in AEW, I'm trying to remember, but majority of the matches have been over in Japan for New Japan. So I can see that happening with Willow. But these two matches are probably a lot harder to figure out than like a normal battle royal or Royal Rumble type thing, because you don't know all the participants in it. So then you got a tag team match between Joe Strickland and Will Ospreay taking on the Young Bucks. So basically, this has stipulation to it. If Ospreay and Strickland lose, they cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship for 1 year. If the Young Bucks lose, they will be stripped of their Executive Vice President titles. Originally, I was going to go for with Ospreay and Strickland, because why would you want them not going for a title for 1 year? But I heard someone say this, point this out, and it's true. Like All In is going back to England next year. I know everyone assumed Will Ospreay was going to win the title last year at All In, but I could see them, like, knowing Tony, he would do like a Saraya, only known as Paige in WWE, won only AEW World Championship in London, England, because he's from there. Generally he not all the time, but 99% of the time he will have the hometown person win. And I can see that here. I mean, I can see that next year with Ospreay. So why not just have him win the belt in London, and then they usually have Ospreay and Strickland reignite the feud in 15 months from now. I guess it would actually be, because it'd probably be back in August, beginning of August for this, as opposed to July. So I'm going with the Young Bucks doing this. Plus, it makes their they do need someone like the Young Bucks to kind of counteract what Death Rider's kind of doing, in a sense, even though both are heels. You need heels on totally different ends of the spectrum, I guess you want to say. They're both doing the same thing, want to try to piss people off, but doing it differently. See, you got next one is singles match for the AEW TNT Championship between Adam Cole and Kyle. He was the TNT champion, and Kyle Fletcher. Oh, I think I said Mercedes' name was TNT TBS. So if I accidentally earlier said that about TNT, I meant TBS. So just hit me that. I think I said TNT. But I think Kyle Fletcher is going to lose. I think Adam Cole is going to retain. Yeah, I think Adam Cole is going to retain for this one. So you got. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. But someone to say that I remember talking about that last time Adam Cole was in the All In was when he and MJF for the 1 year round tag team champions, and they beat Mark Fletcher. It was part of the Carl Fletcher was part of the opposing team. But I think Adam Cole should retain here. Then you got the a three-way tag team match with the AEW World Tag Team Championship. You got the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, who are the defending champs. Taking on Jet Speed, which is Kevin Knight, and Speedball Mike Bailey. And the third team is Peter Hockey, Christian Cage, and Nick Wayne. I don't think that Cage and Wayne are going to win. I think I can see them when I'm taking the loss. And this because it kind of been looks like Nick Wayne's going to eventually turn on Christian. I'm not going to say that next week's Dynamite they're going to do the turn, but this will be brought up. It's like whoever gets pinned, say, because Christian could, if Nick Wayne gets pinned, he would be. I can see Christian berating him for several weeks, and then if Christian takes the pin or submits, both can submit to, I guess. Nick Wayne will say, when Nick Wayne gets fed up with Cage's BS, he could say, well, I didn't take the pinfall or submit, you did. And I'm better than you, or something like that. And especially since something along that line. But but I do think there's going to be the tag team. I think Jess Speed's going to win this match. Because I kind of want to see Lashley and Benjamin do something else. Especially the only way that I see them retain is somehow they bring in someone from MJF, but they're eventually going to be feuding with MJF, and they don't need the tag team belts necessarily for that feud. But it'd be nice to see. But they don't necessarily need it to. I think they will get a rematch. Because I think, like I said, with the Cage and Reign, is that they can get one of them can take the loss, and this way they can hey, I would like a rematch because we won pinned. And you can see them go after each other for a little bit, a month or two or whatever. But yeah, actually new tag team champions. So crazy thing. Well, of course, 2 titles not going to be defended. Well, one of them is I think Nick Ring of Honor champion, so it doesn't really matter. But you don't have obviously the TBS championship. It's not being defended because of Mercedes Moné is in the World Women's Championship match. You got a trios match. I think I wouldn't be surprised if a trios match is going to be added between the Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and I can't think of the third member of the team. Who is the third member? I'm taking on, but I see them taking on Claudio Castagnoli, Yuta, and Pac here and stuff, since they're still going after each other. So I wouldn't be surprised if that gets added. And I can see them adding another. They only have, I think, technically two women's matches because they have the gauntlet match, and they got a something else. And the women's title match. So, but they're probably gonna, like I said, add a couple more matches, and I think the trios match is gonna be one of them. Because usually, I think last year they had like 11, the year before they had like 13. So, but I think that's gonna be it for now. So, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and have a good day.